Welcome, everybody. It's exciting to have you all here with us today. We've seen some early birds join us early, so hello to all of you early birds that stuck around for 10 minutes before we were ready to go live. Super excited to have you all joining us today in this webinar where we are going to be talking about how to attract and retain affiliates with seamless payment experiences. Now, before I introduce you to the lovely ladies on my screen, how many of you joining us today have ever thought about payments and how that relates to your affiliate program? So before we get started and we get into the housekeeping and everything else while we're waiting for everybody to join us, I just want to throw that question out to you guys, and you can pop it into the chat. We're watching the chat on YouTube today. So if you're joining us live on LinkedIn, head on over to Afterverse's YouTube channel, join the live stream there, and you'll be able to ask questions with us and interact with us. But if you're on the LinkedIn live stream, have a think about how many times you've thought about payments and how that actually implements your affiliate program or impacts your affiliate program, and whether you think that payments only impacts your affiliate program at month end when you have to do the commission payouts. Because today we're going to be talking about how payments actually impact the entire flywheel of your affiliate program life cycle. And we're going to be showing you all the areas where payments can impact that. So let's just give a high five and ask people that are joining us to give me a thumbs up in the chat on YouTube or LinkedIn, just so that I know that you can hear us and see us. And while we're waiting for everybody to come in, if you have joined us mistakenly, if something has gone live on your stream and you are joining us on this webinar today, you are in the right place if you want to grow your affiliate program, if you want to learn something new, if you want to plan ahead, and if you want to get prepared. So my friends, if you're joining us today and you are interested in finding out about payments, you are in the right place. We have got the right people, and we are going to be making payments something that used to be maybe a little bit boring or something that you thought wasn't really part of your affiliate job spec or your affiliate manager job spec. It is something a little bit more sexy and interesting that you can go and think about and implement to grow your affiliate program. So as we get started, before we begin, if you're joining us on the live streams in LinkedIn, if you want to ask questions, you need to move over to YouTube, our YouTube channel, and in there you can actually chat with us on the live chat. If you are joining us today, please tell us in the chat where you're from. Tell us what country you're located in. Tell us what industry you're working in, because we'd love to be able to interact and make this session as valuable as possible for you guys. So if you are with us, you're with us for the next 45 minutes. We're going to be diving deep into payments. If you are, struggling with the stream, just refresh your browser and we'll come right back. Or you can log out and log back in again. I always use that as an example. If it doesn't work, turn it off, turn it back on, and you'll probably see us again, but you might have missed a few minutes. And yeah, we're just really excited to have you here with us today. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce you to the ladies on my screen. Again, just a quick reminder, if you're still joining us, you can ask us questions on YouTube. If you're on LinkedIn, you'll be able to watch us all the way through, but you won't be able to ask us questions. So let's get going. Tell us who you are. Tell us where you're from. Tell us what your struggle is, because we'd love to be able to interact with you over the next 40 minutes or so as we get this webinar started. And without any further ado, I want to introduce you to the lovely ladies that have been patient and waited this long to introduce themselves. So I'm going to hand over to Teddy because she's right underneath me on the screen. Teddy, say a quick hello to our audience. Tell us where you're from and what you do and what company you're at. And then we'll move over to Iana.
Yeah, perfect. Hi, everyone. Super excited to be here and with Leanne and Joanna as well. I currently am building partnerships for Tipalti. So referral partnerships, commercial partnerships, all things partnerships. By my accent, you can tell that I'm not actually from the UK, but very much living here in the UK, in the Midlands, commute to our London office based in St. Paul's. I've lived in the UK for about 12 years now, always in commercial and partnership roles. I spent 7 years at a company called Taboola, helping them go from 5 employees in Europe to IPOing, and then moved into a more of a SaaS and tech world here at Tipalti. So yeah, tons of experience in the industry, and excited to chat more and learn from these two.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. And Ayana?
Nice. Yeah, my turn now. So I'm Ioana, and I will pronounce my last name. It will be a quiz question at the end. I'm Ioana Kilnojanu. I work for Everflow currently. I do publisher recruitment for our marketplace. I'm head of publisher development in EMEA. And I've been working in affiliate marketing for about 8 years. I am located currently in Amsterdam, but originally I'm actually Romanian. And since moving here, I've been working only in affiliate marketing in different parts of the industry. I've been a media buyer. I've also been on the network side, and right now I work for a SaaS provider.
Okay, so what I'm really excited about is that we three have very different experiences of the affiliate industry and very different knowledge bases to pick into and to share today. So just a quick reminder, I'm seeing a lot more people join us on the YouTube channel, which is great, because if you want to ask questions and interact with us, you need to be on the YouTube channel because I am monitoring that chat. If you're on the LinkedIn, you can watch us as much as you like, but you're not going to be able to ask us any questions. So, and you can save them for after and email us afterwards. So people, are you ready? Are you ready for us to open up your eyes and make you feel a little bit more excited about the payments industry and what payments can actually do for your affiliate program? Because I think before the end of this webinar, hopefully if we've done our jobs right, we will be telling you and showing you all the different ways that payments plug into your affiliate program and how you can leverage them to actually get a leg up against your competitors. So let's change the way you think about payments. So we came up, when we tried to kind of figure out how we wanted to talk about everything that we wanted to pack into 40 minutes, which is going to be quite a lot, we sort of thought about what is the best way that we can actually tell the story, because I always believe that we learn better when we are told a story about why something works. If we looked at it like a flywheel. So we kind of thought, okay, this slide's going to be up against our faces for the rest of this webinar, but we're going to go quite deep into every single area. And when we were talking about how to actually leverage payments to scale your program, we sort of came up with this idea that it actually impacts every single part of your program in the entire life cycle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by kind of talking about the competition, because it doesn't matter where you are in your affiliate journey, whether you're starting out, whether you're scaling, whether you're trying to improve or grow your margins, you're always going to be looking at what are the competitors doing. And the cool thing about that is that your affiliates are also looking at what your competitors are doing. So I think having a competitive edge is a very, very important place to start as we start to tell you where payments plug in. So I'm going to hand over to Teddy first to talk about what she thinks about payments in the competitive space and how you can be looking at integrating payments and leveraging different types of payment options to actually be more competitive than the program that you're trying to benchmark yourself against.
Thanks, Leanne. We get a lot of prospects, even our current customers, asking us about how to differentiate. The market is so competitive. Affiliates, publishers sometimes work with multiple providers, and they want to be as efficient as possible and as grow their reach as efficiently as possible as well. And looking at the payment side, it might be the very last mile of that race for the affiliate. Getting paid is their end goal, right? They're doing this to build an income, grow their career, grow their business. This is kind of what they're doing, and getting paid is the very end, but it's also very top of mind when they're looking at what they're doing and how they're doing it. So when someone's looking at a program or at a brand, should I be working with this brand or this publisher? They're going to be looking at payments and seeing, can they pay me? Do they offer payments to where I'm based, for example? We all know COVID had people moving abroad, moving to different places. Remote and flexible work is a lot more readily available. So what if your affiliates move to a country and want to be paid in a currency that is outside of your standard practice? You got to start thinking about, maybe your competitors can do this. Or do they have, are you offering different payment methods that your competitors are or not offering? So your affiliates will be starting to look at not only what your brand and your publisher has to offer, but everything around that comes into play when you're thinking about payments. It's not just the process, it's also that end piece. It's looking at how can we make that fully flexible from start to finish. And chances are your competitors are doing it, or if they haven't, then you can be a first mover, right? I think we get a lot of people that come to us and manage their payments through spreadsheets. It's a very simple, very old school process, but that's how they're doing it. And then they come to us and they make things a lot more efficient. That sets them apart from their competitors. I know working with Everflow, we see that quite a bit when we're selling to mutual customers, that a lot of people are starting out their programs and like, we want to set ourselves up for scale and differentiate ourselves. And that's where we both come in and kind of help that.
Yeah. Iana, from your perspective on the client side, because you obviously deal with the clients after they've launched their as they're integrating and launching their program, what are some of the competitive moves that you've seen brands make to differentiate themselves and actually get affiliate buy-in early on, leveraging payments?
I would say definitely personalized payment terms. So different affiliates have different needs, and it's a very good idea to be able to offer them payment terms that suit their needs. And a lot of times what I see with advertisers especially is they treat affiliate marketing in a very transactional way. So they don't necessarily look at it as a long-term partnership from the beginning. And being able to actually offer transparent payments and customizable terms makes your partners really develop that long-term partnership and that loyalty that you would like them to have for your program. It's very important, especially with partners that buy media on your behalf. So the media buyers that we're talking about, it's very important to be able to help them to fund their business properly. And having a missed payment term or a late payment term actually affects their business.
Yeah, in a big way. And I think that kind of leads us from like differentiating your program from other competitors and offering additional incentives, because affiliate managers often just think about, oh, I need to increase my price. I need to offer 50% if somebody's offering 40%, and that'll get the affiliate to sign up to us. And often that's not the case. Like from my perspective on the agency side, managing multiple programs, affiliates partner with the brands who truly understand them and get what their business is about and get what they're trying to build and do. And so the revenue might be great, but if the revenue is great and the conversion sucks and customers can't actually deposit and pay and do whatever they want to be doing, then that doesn't help the affiliate in any way. So having a robust payment platform or having robust payout systems and integrated software and not spreadsheets that are manually checked where human error can come in is actually really, really important to differentiate your program in a competitive space before the affiliate has even decided to join your program. So it could be one of the things to upsell in your outreach emails going, well, we can do personalized payment terms. We can do, payment on, 7 days instead of, 90 days or whatever your industry is offering, because, everybody's got a different set standard. And having that flexibility is also like really important. And I like what you said, Teddy, in terms of, and especially this would probably relate to the influencer side. A lot of influencers are like digital nomads. This month they're in, London, next month they're in Madrid, and their money needs to follow them wherever they go. So the income that they're earning from the programs that they're working in, making it easy for them to receive their money and spend their money wherever they are, actually endears them to your program just a little bit more, because you're kind of adjusting your one-size-fits-all approach of, well, this is how the network pays. It's on 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever it is, to kind of accommodate what they especially need. And especially with strategies, I think, when you're trying to expand your program. So you might start out with just like kind of review and SEO sites and coupon voucher sites when you start your program. But as you start to expand your program and move into different geos and different countries, payment starts to become front of mind because it's the enabler. Yeah.
And I think with, sorry, Leanne.
There you go.
I think with the competition, looking at where we all want to speak, we're all very excited here, everyone. I think thinking about competition is bringing it back to scalability and choice as well, right? Like even me personally, when I'm shopping around, if I'm looking at buying something online, for example, I want to see how can I get delivered? What can I do? How can I buy it? And that's just a simple everyday transaction, right? Thinking about somebody who's building a business, they want to make sure that they have that scalability to say, okay, look, I'm going to be building this from 0 to 1. What happens when I get after that 1? What's from 1 to 10, and how can I grow that? So I think the competition is, if you're thinking about choice and scalability for your offering, I think it's key to stand out from there.
Okay, so we can use it as a competitive advantage because we only got 30 minutes
Yes.
and we've got 8 sections to go through. Talk us onboarding section. So how have you seen brands or affiliate managers, Iana, leveraging their diversified payments, operations or back-end, administrative processes to help with the onboarding for affiliates? And I think you spoke about this a little bit when you were talking about like the administration hassle that affiliates have to go through in order to do reconciliations and like match up their payments in networks, whereas you've got quite a different integration with payments where you can actually pay everything individually and it's quite easy for the affiliate to see. So talk us through the onboarding stuff.
Indeed. So what we saw on our side is that actually a lot of publishers have downsized their finance teams.
Yeah.
And they're trying to streamline operations as much as possible, which means they will probably invest less in advertisers that they would need to chase, let's say.
Yeah.
So on our side, with our integration with Tipalti, we actually allowed them to upload all of their financial information into the platform and also have an overview of where the payment is, when the payment is coming, and what the status of the payment is. And it's quite seamless. We also, on our side, we offer something that's called managed payments, which basically means we give a rep to the client on our side to make sure that all of their affiliates are actually onboarded correctly. They get email reminders to upload their payment information, and also the client on their side gets reminders when a new cycle is coming, when they have to fund their account, and when they have to distribute the payments.
Yeah, because there's nothing worse. I mean, I've seen this on the management side. There's nothing worse than an affiliate gets notified, hey, you've earned your first $100 in our program or whatever the case may be. And because the sign-up process was quite lean, because obviously the idea is that you want your affiliates to sign up and get into the program and get their tracking links as quickly as possible. It now takes the affiliate another 3 weeks to be verified, approved, and have their data updated before they get that $100. Like, if you can get that all streamlined at the front in the onboarding section, the affiliate can just plug and play and start, sending traffic and earning commission and know that they will be paid on time at the end of the month. And I think you also touched on a really good subject there. A lot of affiliates have downsized their internal teams because obviously there's a lot of cost and revenues associated with them. Now we have really good SaaS products that can help you manage all of your invoicing and payments and finance and stuff. But they still need to do reconciliations, and they still need to kind of do VAT returns, and they still need to do all of the kind of like business administration things that a normal company would do. And we forget that because we think an affiliate is just somebody who's, a traffic driver or a media buyer or whatever the case may be. But they've still got the business demands that, a normal business has. And so making it easier for them to kind of, segregate their revenue, understand what their forecasting will be, look into the platform and actually say, hey, this much revenue has been kind of ring-fenced that's going to be paid on the 5th of the month, and know that money is going to hit their bank account, allows them to also kind of plan their spend, like their forecast and their spend within their own business. So do they invest that money now, knowing that it's going to be paid on time, and then they can still pay their bills? Because that's something that's a real killer for smaller, medium enterprises. Payment terms that run late can actually have a serious impact on the affiliate's business.
Yeah. On my side, I know from personal experience, because I used to be at a network, and the last 2 weeks or first 2 weeks of a month were always reconciliation on every side. It also used to be mobile, so there was so much data that we had to comb through to even get to a point where we would invoice someone and then chase for payments. It was a true pain or all of our operation.
And the thing is, you can't just trust what's there, right? You've got to do the back-end checks to make sure that everything is validated, that all the numbers tally up, because your affiliates get audited by accountants too. So everything has to match up, and everything has to be, and in some countries, like I know in the States, you have to declare your tax. You have to, there's certain forms that you have to fill out for onboarding. So having that all integrated and having your payment provider help you to set all of that up really saves you a lot of time later on. And it actually prevents aggravation with your affiliates, because now they've earned commission, they can't get their money. There's nothing worse than that. Seeing that there's a carrot being dangled there going, yay, joined our program and made some sales, and then, oh, sorry, it's going to take another 4 weeks to pay you. That's just a really bad user experience for anybody to go through.
Indeed. And I think Teddy also touched on a very important point earlier, where you have affiliate programs that are international. So how do you manage paying all of your partners in different currencies, for example? Because not everyone is going to be able to receive dollars or euros or so on.
Yeah.
Exactly. We try to ask that question early on when we're speaking to different businesses, like, what are your international expansion plans? Have you thought about X, Y, and Z? Because I think a lot of times you're like, let's launch in the US and see where we go, or let's launch in the UK and see what happens. But then, like we said earlier, people move around and suddenly you have an international program without realizing it. Your product might be in one place, but actually where your affiliates and your influencers, for example, they could be everywhere. So I think that's one to think about, especially during onboarding.
Some affiliates actually arbitrage revenue too through payments. So I know a lot of affiliates who are in the US, but they want to be paid in sterling because they arbitrage the difference between USD and GBP as well to help leverage and increase their margins. So I think that's something important as well, is if you are looking at a global program, you do need to think about multi-currency payments, because not everybody's going to want USD, GBP, and euros. Some people might want to be paid in their local currency, especially in countries like South America, where there's such a volatile conversion rate between the different currencies, or even in Africa, for example. Although I suppose most South Africans would want to be paid in pounds always, because it's the stronger currency to the rand. But just having that option for you to, because there's also there's problems with that, because some countries also have foreign exchange rules where it's difficult to get the money in and get the money out if it's in another currency. So you really do need to think about how do you structure so that if you are going to scale internationally, you're thinking about all of these things in advance. And you might be saying to yourself now, for those of you that have joined us, this isn't my problem, it's my CFO's problem. Well, it kind of isn't, because you're going to be feeding up to the CFO and going, I need this, I need this, I need this. And that starts with conversations and understanding what the payments ecosystem looks like for your program and for your differentiated partners. So we've spoken about leveraging payments to make your program more competitive. We've spoken about leveraging payments to make your onboarding process as seamless as possible for your affiliates. Let's talk about activation pieces, where we've spoken about one of them already, which is, you've earned great revenue, but now it's going to take you 3 weeks to receive that money. How do brands currently use payments to actually activate inactive affiliates on their program?
I think it's a good one, and I think, Ioana, you'll have a lot to say about this one as well. I think it's a good motivator, especially when you're, let's say, revamping your program, or you're giving a big update on what you're working on, to be like, hey, look, we've just implemented a tool to help automate our payments. We have different options. If you're, again, bringing it back to the competition, some only offer, let's say, 6 or 7. Some may offer 10 or 20 different payment methods. It's a good differentiator to be like, oh, I forgot about this. I need to get back on it. They've now offered that payment term I wasn't looking at before, or I can earn more money because they have now included PayPal in the mix, and that's my preferred payment method. It gives them a reminder that you're still there, you're still working, you're still growing, and it makes it, like we said, I think we're going to say the word seamless about 100 times on this call, but it makes it super seamless, as it reduces that friction to get started and actually get them going. It helps get that first payment into their bank, into their wallet, wherever they want it to go. It helps them get them going quicker, for them to start that flywheel of, okay, we've got started here. I got the first payment in. Now I want to do some more. It gets them more motivated to do that. And then kind of bringing it back onto onboarding slightly, still going down. We have a few of these to go through, but making sure that area is completely personalized to help them feel like they're joining a community, not just signing up to start promoting something. They're joining something exciting that they also relate to. So that onboarding, that activation piece, I think, actually comes hand in hand when you're thinking about personalization, to get that motivation to get started.
I like how you've linked payment to morale, because it's also
I have a whole other way as well. Yeah.
It's also linked to trust, because you've only got one chance to make a really good first impression with an affiliate joining your program. And that impression starts with the first email that you send them, the onboarding process that they have, when they get their money, is it paid on time?
Exactly.
and having the choice of where and how to receive their commission. Like all of these things are like the little incremental steps that build trust in your program, that get the affiliate to buy into who you are as a business and what you're offering as a partner.
Exactly.
And so I really like that analogy. I want to move on to loyalty, because I've seen a lot of, I've worked for payments companies as well. I've seen how they have leveraged payments to actually build and retain loyalty. So doing partnerships with the companies that they are working with to do payments, to stimulate sales through certain payment channels, to reward based on commissions earned through certain payment channels, because it's easier for affiliates to actually kind of get the money out, use it, reuse it again, reinvest it again into the program. So what are some of the cool things that you've seen clients do on the loyalty side in terms of leveraging their payments infrastructure and should I say variety, the payment variety, to actually get affiliates to remain loyal to the program?
I think you go for it.
Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
I wanted to chime in and say, because we have an option that's called partner tiers, and you can actually customize the different tiers for your partners, kind of like a leaderboard. Okay. So it's a bit like a competition where the best partner could basically earn extra, maybe a more competitive payout, or maybe just additional revenue. And obviously, through the integration that we have, that's all powered through Tipalti and makes everything automated. That's what we've seen on our side, but I'm sure, Teddy, being on so many different industries, you probably have a better overview.
No, I was gonna say we have a creative one with you guys, so you covered that, which is perfect. I think looking back, and I'm not trying to make it sound negative, but I think if there's a mispayment or a payment error, that could also hinder loyalty and touches on the retention piece. But actually, if you have a super seamless program and you, let's say, have somebody that's recently been onboarded that has come from a poor experience previously, and now you're generating a great experience, they get paid on time, they have options, they have choice, it's reliable, it's transparent, it's great. You're creating almost a affiliate program within your affiliate program. This is going to drive more loyalty, stronger word of mouth, and help build that trust and that build that experience. So it all comes back to competitors onboarding activation again through this whole flywheel. But I think having something that just works, I think everyone expects to be paid, right? You're signing up, you're going to get paid. So I think when you're not, exactly. And when you're not, and it's not correct, or it's late, or there's something that you need to adjust, that's when you start to chip away at that loyalty. And I think thinking it from a negative perspective first also helps you cover your butt on that side of things.
But also think about it from an incrementality perspective, because, and I'm not talking about on the tracking side. I'm talking about you've signed up a partner, they've made their first paycheck, they're now invested, they now want to grow. Now you want to give them a little bit of excitement and a little bit more incentive to grow faster.
Exactly.
Why does the incentive have to be paid on 30, 60, 90 days? Why don't you just pay them ad hoc in the middle of the month when that trigger is pulled? When they've actually, and you could tie your CRM in to do that. You can, there's many ways that you can kind of build the API to automate the gamification and incentivization that keeps your affiliates loyal to you versus your competitors. So things that, and I have actually legit done this in programs before, where I've given like on the spot or incremental, like not leaderboard, because that's like everybody trying to pull together to kind of get to an end goal. But I've phoned up an affiliate at random and given a goodwill giveaway and said, we've noticed you've got some really great traffic. Why don't you, double that up this month, and I'll give you an extra 10% commission, and I'll give it to you in increments of 10. So every time you bring in 10 more customers than the week before, I'll pay you in that week immediately as soon as that 10 is done. You don't have to wait till the end of the month to get it. That's a really great incentive, because one, it impacts the affiliate's cash flow. Two, it actually makes them interested to look at the numbers every day and follow what they're doing on your account and see if they're hitting those margins. And three, it builds really great communication between you and your partner, because now they're going to wait for the next call and go, okay, what's my next assignment? What's my next goal? And so having that increment, having that automated payment process and that administrative process already like flagged and checked and ticked in, makes it so much easier. The other thing as well that I've just thought about, which we didn't actually even talk about, and it's not around loyalty, It's around simplification. A lot of bigger businesses have got procurement teams. So when they, onboard new partners, there's a whole legal process that needs to go through. And sometimes you might just want to have a short, quick campaign that you can just kind of get out of the door quick and dirty. Your payment provider can help you to do that because you can actually pay through the affiliate account. So it might be, a supplier or whatever it is, a partnership that you're doing that doesn't quite fit into the affiliate channel, but you don't have 6 months to wait for the procurement team to take you through the onboarding process. You can actually leverage your affiliate payments to get that done. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because legit, I have been paid that way many times.
No, it makes sense.
It
makes sense. That adds to the flexibility too, right? I think from that side, with the way Tipalti is set up, we KYC our customer. We don't KYC all the affiliates or the influencers or the creators that they're paying out, which creates a more seamless onboarding for them because they're not KYCing each one. We have an automated process for that level. We're KYCing, let's say, company X who has an affiliate program, creator program, influencer program. So we help speed that up so they can add on board a lot more efficiently rather than some more established, like an established company that might have a procurement team, like you said, needs to ask permission, do this. We have different levels that we can help with approval flows on that side as well. So it makes a big difference to be agile.
Same for sorry, Anna. Same for customers that have big budgets, that have fixed fee budgets, for example, where the affiliate is maybe doing part fixed fee and part performance. This can actually help you speed up that process and make the campaign go faster, make the campaign go live faster, because you can manage the entire payment process through the affiliate. And what I like about that is that often if you're doing payments externally to the program and you've got payments going through the program, you're not actually looking at your overall cost because some of it's on the finance side and some of it's in the actual platform. So when you look back 18 months ago, what were we spending on our program and what was our ROI? You forget about all the fixed fee payments that happened outside of the platform. Whereas if you can consolidate all of that into the platform, you've always got accurate reports in your data dashboard.
And in the end, this is a very fast-moving industry. So you want to have flexibility and you want to be able to pay people fast. It's the need for a procurement process is very well understood, but it's very hard to actually do an effective affiliate program with 6 months of approval time.
Yeah, totally. So let's move on to administration. So we've spoken about, and I'm going to take a little break here because we've got people on the chat. If anybody wants to ask us questions or put challenges forward that we can maybe help you with in terms of thinking about your payment structures and your payment administration and your competitiveness of how you can leverage payments in your affiliate program, please feel free to ask questions because we are going to be looking. I literally have the chat open here. So if you're on LinkedIn and you're watching us, head on over to the YouTube channel because you can actually ask us questions in the YouTube channel. But we're kind of halfway through, so I just wanted to just remind everybody that they can ask questions if they want. So we've spoken about competitors. We've looked at how payments can actually help you get competitive and actually get affiliates the buy-in to join your program. We've spoken about onboarding and how that can actually activate and help affiliates to get into the program a lot quicker, KYC'd a lot quicker, and ready to actually receive their commission in whatever currencies they want a lot quicker. We've spoken about activation, so helping affiliates to actually go active in your program by paying them faster. We've spoken about loyalty, keeping them loyal to your program in terms of how you incentivize them and when you incentivize them. We've also spoken about retention, so leveraging payment methods and multi-currencies and looking at how you grow and take your program into a global economy, basically, to help affiliates remain loyal into your program and keep promoting it. What about the kind of administrative and cost efficiency side? So we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of payments, which you're only thinking about at the end of the month because everything else is all about the campaign before then. But what are some of the administrative and efficiencies that you can actually get down to, especially in, because you're not looking at this in the start. You're not looking at this in the first year of your affiliate program. You're looking at this in year 2 and 3, when you've already established mass membership into the program. And now you're trying to look at, how do I act out that ROI? How do I make this program more ROI efficient? How do payments plug into that part?
100%. Happy to kick off and start getting some food for thought here, because I think there's a massive difference, like you said, between a program from 5 to, let's say, 50 to 100 affiliates, 200 plus. Your first 5, let's say they want two want PayPal, one want Wire, this one wants the other one, and you're tracking that through a spreadsheet, right? So you have a huge list that's suddenly creeping up. Okay, this person wants to be paid at this time. We're only doing this set payment terms. If we adjust it to here, this is what it looks like. And that spreadsheet becomes your kind of holy grail, but also your worst nightmare. And at the end of the month, you can't go on vacation, you can't take a day off because you have to make sure everything is kept up and cleaned up and organized. And that's just one person's job, potentially more. I know we have a mutual customer, and I'll let Ioana go through it a bit more, but we had an Aragon Advertising come to work with the two of us, and they're saving, I think it's 20 hours. Correct me if I'm wrong getting the numbers off, a month by moving to a more automated flow.
That's 3 days.
Yep.
That's 3 working days in a month, which could be spent on a whole number of things, like going to new events to learn new things, or recruiting more affiliates, or coming up with better campaigns that make affiliates want to work with you. That's incredible.
Exactly.
Their estimation was that they would actually have needed 3 other people on the team to do the job that Everflow and Tipalti did together. So
automation is key. Like really thinking about structure and that that scalability, because obviously they're quite a big company, right? So they pay in multiple different countries with and it's funny you said that, because as you were saying, 1 to 5 affiliates, not a problem. 10 to 20, still not really a problem. 100 starting to become an administrative nightmare. And believe me, when 100 people are being paid late, that's not fun for any affiliate manager to deal with. When you start getting to 3,000 to 10,500, which are some of the programs that I have managed in my lifetime, believe me, payments are very important, because the first person that's going to call you when a payment is late is an affiliate, and they don't care if it's 2:00 in the morning, like wherever you are. So I've managed programs like that where I literally have to go like lick on a promise and a prayer, please don't pay late this month, because my phone's going to be buzzing off the hook. But it's super important to also have that flexibility, I think. And you want to be helping your affiliates. You want to be helping your affiliates to help themselves. And when you have things that hinder them, it causes friction, between your business and the account managers, who are the front-facing people of your business, who are flying the flag and going, please work with us, please work with us. So you kind of have to have a symbiotic relationship with whoever's dealing with your payments or finance, because it's not necessarily the affiliate manager, but what your responsibility is to go and tell the business, go have the stories and showcase what happens when you do streamline these administrative processes, and how that does impact your bottom line in all the different examples that we've given you here today. So I want to talk about morale, because probably one of the biggest things that happens in a program as it starts to scale is that we're not efficient in how we manage relationships. It's great when you've got 50 affiliates and 2 account managers. It's quite easy to manage 25 people, touch base with them over the course of a month, make sure that they're happy. As you said, many of them will probably be paid by PayPal or bank transfer. It's not going to be that difficult. When you've got 10,500, that's not possible with 2 people. And it's also not possible to hire, 25 people to manage your affiliate program. So you have to start looking at ways of keeping the morale of your affiliates en masse up. How does payments plug into that part of the program life cycle?
Who wants to take this one?
Oh, I can take it. I think what we talked about earlier, so one, predictability is very important, and transparency, but also the ability to maybe, once you start scaling, to change payment terms. For example, let's say you were paying net 30 until now you can do net 14, because some of your affiliates have scaled to such an extent that you can actually afford to pay them earlier, and you should be able to pay them earlier.
And you've got the data set to prove that their traffic is valid, that every month your conversion rate's the same. You can start to make calculated decisions based on the data to improve the payment terms, because there's that level of trust over time. And we're talking about this is probably for programs that are in the 3 to 5 year range, that have got an established brand, an established set of, top partners. We're not advising you to do this on day 1 of your program launch, but really just starting to look at where can you eke out more value. And earlier payment terms really can put you at the top of the kind of reviews list, because affiliates will leverage that for cash flow in their own business. So thinking strategically about not only how do I get more, by paying more, but how do I get more by paying less, but doing it more often? Stuff like that's quite strategic.
And also in terms of what you mentioned regarding the proven traffic, we actually have ways to show how your traffic is doing throughout the month. So you don't necessarily have to do the old reconciliation method where everything gets posted back to the affiliate. And then at the end of the month, you go back with an Excel and you say, oh, actually, these conversions are not valid. Now you can have them basically as pending and then decide after your validation period, are these actual valid conversions? Are they not? And why are they not? So it's way easier for affiliates to also plan on their side.
Yeah.
I think all of this helps.
Yeah.
For sure. I think also to spin it internally, having a structure and flow to help internal employee morale. I was at an event where I was speaking to someone who manages an affiliate program, and they're like, I'm my finance team's worst nightmare because I'm constantly chasing and pushing and getting payments approved or different processes that need to be adjusted. So it's understanding that it's not just for the affiliates too. And I think that's where Everflow and Tipalti come into play quite a bit, because we're speaking to two teams. Usually we're speaking to the marketing, the affiliate, the growth team, but we're also speaking to the finance team because they need that transparency and that connection. Because if it's just a spreadsheet, then somebody's going to be clicking in there. There's human error, there's missed updates, there's this, that, the other. Whereas if there's an actual flow from one to the other, the teams are much happier. Because I remember back in my Taboola days when we were trying to get advertisers to for us to have advertisers pay us, and we needed to pay at the publishers. I was constantly at finance's desks to be like, have we done this yet? Can we make sure that's going through? I don't want anyone shut off, and we need to have this person paid. So I became their best friend and their worst nightmare by the end of it, because constantly chasing. Exactly.
Yeah, no, I've been there. And I think anybody listening to this webinar will have also been there at one or other time in their life if they are working in a scaling and fast-paced affiliate program. Okay, so we kind of need to run it off because we're getting to that kind of, 45, 50 minute mark. I know it's gone quick. Bottom line, what we're trying to tell you guys, and hopefully what we've been able to showcase in incremental spots in that flywheel, is you may not be at this stage right now. You may not be thinking about some of the things that we've showcased to you today, but what we want you to do is start thinking about it. So if you're in a program that's busy growing, that's scaling, take this webinar and actually think about which part of the flywheel process actually is relevant for you now, and start to think about how do you structure that? How do you actually build the payment process so that the user experience for your affiliates becomes easier? So I guess the moral of the story here today is if you want to scale, you need to think about payments. If you want to retain your affiliates, you need to think about payments. If you want to reward your affiliates, guess what? You need to think about payments, and so on and so on and so on. So hopefully in that flywheel process, and you can always rewind this and go back if you've missed it, you can just start to think about every single segment in that pie graph that we showed you, or the flywheel that we showed you, and start to think about how do you actually build an experience that not only builds growth, but also retains and maintains and, provides ROI as well, because payments doesn't just come at the end of the month when commissions need to be paid. It actually can be filtered into all aspects of your affiliate program. I'm just going to stop there quickly because we're running ahead of everybody else that's behind us on the lag. So does anybody have any questions for us right now? If you're on the LinkedIn live stream, just head on over to the YouTube and you can chat in the YouTube chat there. Nobody's put in questions so far, so I guess that means that we've done our job really well and we've given them some food for thought, which is awesome. But if anybody does have questions, you can pop that into the chat. I will stick around for a little bit after the webinar ends and just answer any questions that come in. But you can also email us. So you can email me. My email's up on there. Unfortunately, I didn't have your emails, but you can just verbally say it now if you want. But anybody that sends us a question, I will route it over to Teddy or Iana. If it's relevant to either the Tipalti side or the Everflow side, if you want to find out more about how that all integrates together. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you both on this webinar today. I think we've definitely spoken about things in a very different way, because often when people look at me with payments, not to be rude, but my eyes glass over and I go, yeah, it's not really my problem. It's like my finance team's problem, but actually it's not, it's yours, because you're driving the affiliate program forward and you are actually making the decisions about how your affiliates get treated. So I think we've done an excellent job. We don't seem to have any questions. I hope that it's been useful for people. And over to you guys. Thank you so much for being part of this webinar and sharing your expertise.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. So if you haven't heard about our Elevate Summit and you've been hiding under a rock, just remember that you can book your early bird ticket to come to Elevate in London in July. We are going to be barbecuing. We are going to be teaching you things. We are going to be sharing tactics. We are going to be taking you behind the curtain with some really, really interesting, cool people, which we are about to reveal. Some really big influencers, some really big, exciting people that are doing cool things online and breaking the internet. And we are going to be teaching all of you that stuff too. So come and join us, get your early bird ticket. It's going to be super exciting. You'll probably see some of us there as well. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us on this webinar. It's been wonderful to have you guys with me today, Teddy and Iana. Thank you so much for sharing your perspectives. Hopefully people have found this interesting, and if we get any emails, I'm going to be shooting them your way because you're the experts, not me. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you.